Management System, organized by Department of College and Technical Education, Government of Karnataka. So today I'm going to teach Introduction to Project Management, the unit number 1, and the session is the 9th session, and the subject is Project Management and Valuation for 6th semester civil engineering students. Actually, in the past sessions we had a detailed discussion regarding different concepts of project management. It may be about the organization, about the planning, about the functions of project management, and types of projects. So today I am going to explain you, and I am going to cover the following contents. That is about turnkey projects, public-private partnership, followed by a small multiple choice question test. Let's check whether the recording is going on. Yes. So today in this session I am going to cover the following contents: turnkey projects, public-private partnership, and multiple choice question test. So what is a turnkey operation? Turnkey operation ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಟರ್ನ್ಕಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಗೆ ನೀವು ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದಾದ್ರೆ. ಸೊ ಈ ಟರ್ನ್ಕಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಎನಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮೇಜರ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರುವಂತ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸ್ ಯಾವುದು? ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ದೆನ್ ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಆ ಡೇಟಾ ತಗೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಆರ್ಕಿಟೆಕ್ಚರಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಲ್ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಆರ್ಕಿಟೆಕ್ಚರಲ್ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ನಂತರ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನನಗೆ ರಿಲೀಸ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಸೈಟ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಇನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಡೆಲಿವರಿ ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಅದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಆಪರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇರುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಇದುವರೆಗೂ ನೀವು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರೋದೇನು? ಸರ್ವೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್, ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಲ್ ಕನ್ಸಲ್ಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದೊಂದು ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ವಿಂಗ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ಫರ್ಮ್, ಬೇರೆ ಒಂದು ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿನೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅದೇ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದು. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ನೀಸ್ಗಳಿದಾವೆ. ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರಲ್ ಕನ್ಸಲ್ಟೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಒಂದು ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಇದೆ, ಆರ್ಕಿಟೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಒಂದು ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಇದೆ, ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತಾನೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ ಇದೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ, ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕಂಪ್ನಿ. ಸೊ ಇವರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಏಜೆನ್ಸೀಸ್ನ ನಾನು ಕಾಂಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗತ್ತೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಟರ್ನ್ಕಿ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಾನು ಹೋಗಿ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಬರೀ ಜಾಗ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಜಾಗ ತೋರಿಸಿ ಈ ತರದೊಂದು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನನಗೆ ಬೇಕು, ಒಂದು ಹೋಟೆಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್, ಒಂದು IT ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ, ಒಂದು IT ಕಮರ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಸ್ಪೇಸ್, ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಶಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ರೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಓಕೆ, ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಏರಿಯಾ ತೋರಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ರೊಳಗಡೆ ಇಂಟೀರಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಅಷ್ಟೇ ನಾನು ತೋರಿಸೋದು. ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಅವನು ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಬ್ರೀಫ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಎಸ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅವನಿಗೆ ಕ್ಲೈಂಟ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಸೇ ಟು ದ ಕ್ಲೈಂಟ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಹೌ ಮಚ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು occur. After that he is only doing the construction. So all the responsibilities will be from the contractor: surveying, design, project planning, construction, and operation. Just the owner has to come and open the key. That's all. That's why it is called as turnkey operation. All the works like surveying, design, project planning, construction, and test operation are entrusted to one large contracting organization. So further in ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ, one large contractor organization, if they doesn't have the required expertise, say for example ಅವರು ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಸರ್ವೆ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅವಾಗ ಸರ್ವೇನ ಅವರೇನೆ ಬೇರೆ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿಗೆ ಅವರು ನಾವು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. Owner is not going to involve. So owner is just going to show the land, and the contractor will say that this is the total amount of the project. It may be item rate. Okay, so design onde, execution onde, planning onde, contractor de ella onde. That is called as turnkey project. ಈಗ nowadays ನೀವು ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್, ಮೈಸೂರೆಲ್ಲ ರೆಸಿಡೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಹೌಸಸ್, ಹುಬ್ಳಿ, ಬಳ್ಳಾರಿಲೆಲ್ಲ ರೆಸಿಡೆನ್ಷಿಯಲ್ ಹೌಸಸ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಅವರೇ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, 3D ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಅವ್ರದ್ದೇನೆ. ಒಂದು ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಫೀಟ್ಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟು ಅಂತ ಅವರು ಕ್ಲೇಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಓನರ್ಗೆ ಅವರು ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿಯಾದಂತ ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋ ಅಗತ್ಯ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ. ಯಾಕೆಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೇ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿಗೆ ನೀವು ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅವರನ್ನೇ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಬಂದು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ನಿಮ್ದು ಕನ್ಕರೆನ್ಸ್ ತಗೊಂಡು they will be doing the job. That is called as turnkey operation. So the responsibility of all activities involved to the contracting agency, and the owner simply wants to turn the key at completion to take over the facility. So this type of turnkey is very important for those clients such as NRI clients ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So foreign ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ, they want to build a house here, they will go for this kind of project. That is, one agency will be given. ಆ ಒನ್ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿನ ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರ್ ಅಥವಾ ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಒಬ್ರು ಅವ್ರದ್ದು ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ಸ್ ನ ಅಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ the job will be over. There is no need of daily coordination between different type of agencies. There will be no headaches. The responsibility of the owner will be taken by the contractor itself. That is the called as turnkey project, turnkey operation. So in today, most of the villa project or residential project are turnkey operated project. And coming to interiors, so ಒಂದು ನೀವು ಸ್ಪೇಸ್ ತೋರಿಸಿ ಶಾಪಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಲ್ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀರಾ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಇಂಟೀರಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು, ಒಂದು ಮನೆ ತೋರಿಸಿ ಬಂಗ್ಲೋ ತೋರಿಸಿ ಇಂಟೀರಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಆ ಇಂಟೀರಿಯರ್ಸ್ ಅವರು ಕೂಡ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ದ ಮೆಜರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ದ ಪ್ಲಾನ್, ಈಸ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಇಟ್. ಸೊ ಇಂಟೀರಿಯರ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ, ಟರ್ನ್ಕಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇವೆ. ಸೊ ವೈ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟೆಡ್, ಟರ್ನ್ಕಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ನ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಏನ್ ಬಂತು? ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ರೀಸೆಂಟ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಗ್ರೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲಾರಿಟಿ ಬಿಕಾಸ್ modern construction has become very complex and the client prefers to deal with a single organization rather than with a multiple of specialist constructor, each with his own contractual peculiarity. So in today, what is happening is the contracting agencies have become specific about to their skills and tasks. Say for example, one contracting agency, they are going to decide that I am going to do only designing of the structures, but waterproofing, only civil work constructions, and only interiors. So because of this, the owner has to coordinate with a lot of agencies, which becomes very complex. For example, easy projects we can coordinate. There are some complex projects like energy projects ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಆಯಿಲ್ ರಿಗ್ಸ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಮತ್ತು ಪವರ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದೋಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ if the owner wants to involve in the design stage, if the owner wants to involve in the planning stage, it will be little hectic. If you see the projects coming over in the Dubai, the majority of the projects are turnkey. They are going to show the land, they will be funding the project. Okay, and in the regular process of the project, they have to update the client about the they have to take the permission, approval of the plans irbodu, estimates irbodu, finishing schedules irbodu. So because of these factors, the turnkey projects are more. Large contracting firms have both the technical and managerial skills to take up such work. So big construction companies today have the in-house capability of handling the structural design also and execution part also. So this allows them to take up this kind of projects. So the following factors have contributed to the growing popularity of the turnkey projects. Several large public sector contracting agencies, Bechtel ಅಂತ ಒಂದಿದೆ, ಅಮೆರಿಕನ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಂಪನಿ, Larsen and Toubro, Engineers India Limited, Indian company, Hindustan Construction Company. So these are very big companies and they house a lot of agencies in themselves, different streams. They are project management consultants, they are into construction, they are into planning, the structural designing, surveying, all the skill set of people will be hired, recruited by them. So this makes them to take the turnkey projects and execute it in a very comfortable manner without any hassles. So that's why owners are preferring to go for this type of projects. So these are the big construction companies that are taking the turnkey projects. If Bechtel another, no, they are they're taking very massive projects, energy, power, okay, houses, and so this makes them to take up the turnkey projects. Now let us think about the advantages of turnkey. It's a well understood tradition model. So these are the different phases of turnkey projects. First, there will be idea generation from the owner. Next, there will be design for that idea. Next, build. We are building it, we are testing it, and we are maintaining it. This is a cycle for the turnkey operation. Contract agreement is not complex. When different contracting agencies have involved in the project, for example, civil construction is doing one contracting firm. One contracting firm is supplying concrete. One contracting firm is doing the waterproofing. One contracting firm is doing the facade, means aluminum composite paneling, external. One construction firm is doing electrical work. So like that, if there are 6 to 7 contracting agencies coming into that project, 6 to 7 agreements should be made separately for those contractors. Each and every contracting agreement will be different because the skill set of people is different, people involved is different, and safety features are different. So you have to go in detail explaining about the contracting agreement for the different agencies. So it will be a little confusing about commanding the construction. So in this turnkey operation, since one agency is given all the responsibilities, one agreement is enough for them. So it is not complex. Generally, contract enforcement is not a major issue. That's what, since one agreement will be there and one command will be done to him, okay, there will be a minutes of meeting and only one agency will be coming over there. If there is a delay in design, they are responsible. If there is delay in drawing, they are responsible. Delay in planning, they are responsible. So if there is any delay in the execution, then it is easily identified by the owner, easy to take control of the one contracting agency rather than different. Because if different agencies are involved, there will be a ball passing system. Say for example, if an structural drawings will be prepared by another agency and execution will be different. Execution will take the name of drawing consultant, that drawings has not been provided for different stages. Drawing person says we have submitted the drawings, there is delay in the site, like that ball passing system will be happening. So the contracting enforcement will be little difficult. So here it will be not be there. It will reduce the overall project time because construction begins after completion of design. Since here the drawings also prepared by the same team and planning will be done by the same team, there will be coordination between the both the teams. Okay, because in construction projects most of the projects fail because of ego clash. Ego clash ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಶನ್ ಕಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರೇ ಫೋನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ, ಅವರೇ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕಮ್ಯುನಿಕೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿ, ಈ ತರ. ಬಟ್ ಒಂದೇ ಹೌಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಆ ಒಂದು ಸಮಸ್ಯೆನೇ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಟೀಮ್ ರೆಡಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾಗ್ಲೇನೆ ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಒಂದು ಫುಟಿಂಗ್ ಲೇಔಟ್ ನ ಫ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಒಂದು ಬಿಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಕಟ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಫುಟಿಂಗ್ ಲೇಔಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ನಾವು ಮಾರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕವೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ. ಸೊ ಅದೇ ನೀವು ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅವಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಪ್ ಟು ಬೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ವರ್ಗು ಫುಲ್ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಕೊಡೋವರೆಗೂ ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಒಂದೇ ಟೀಮ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವರು ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಫುಟಿಂಗ್ ಲೇಔಟ್ ನ ಫ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಬೇಗ ಇಶ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್, ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ವರ್ಕ್. ಸೊ ಈ ತರ ಒಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ದಿನಗಳು ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸೇವ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಟೋಟಲ್ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಸೆಟ್ ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಪ್ಯಾರಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಫೇಸ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಈ ಕಡೆ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಫೇಸ್ ಕೂಡ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದಿಸ್ ರಿಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ದ ಓವರ್ ಆಲ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್. Advantages of turnkey operation. Continuing, singular responsibility and contractor takes care of the design. That's what, only one agency, schedule, construction services, quality methods and technology. Because it will be given single responsibility, contractor thinks in mind innovatively about different modern concepts. So he will explain to the owner that, sir, this could be done, this technology could be adopted for increasing the efficiency of the work or for increasing the quality of the work. So like that, innovation also possible in these kind of turnkey operations. Project cost defined in early stage and has certainty. And in this turnkey operation, since drawings and design will be freezed, and also initially while negotiating itself, the project cost will be final. Say for example 10 crore, 10 crore. He has to do the job within that amount, because if there is any exceeding without the owner be not making any changes, then project team will be answerable, because they are the ones who have created the estimates, they are the ones who have prepared the designs. So the project cost can be defined in early stage and there will be a certainty. Risk management is better than design build. So the conventional method is, I am going to design, then I am going to call for tender, and then construction. There is a lot of risk in these three phases. But here, since it is a singular responsibility, the risk will be completely to the contracting agency. So these are the different advantages of turnkey. Let us discuss about the disadvantages. The owner has to prepare the comprehensive scope of work and has to clearly define the requirements prior to signing the contract. Andre, so exact agi what, for example, ಒಂದು hotel project ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ, how many number of rooms are required, what area of commercial complex is required, what area of rooms is required, what area of garden is required, how many floors are required. So the owner has to be very clear in his scope of work and what is the finishing schedule, because if he has not said clearly, he can't change the drawings in the construction stage, because it is a turnkey, right? The pace of work will be so fast. Okay, if in between, if you are going to go for any change, then there will be lag in the project and there will be conflicts between the owner and the contractor. Owner has reduced the control over design quality. So here, since he will be taking care of the preparation of drawings, he can't check the design quality. Okay, so usually design quality ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಒಬ್ರು ಯಾರಾದ್ರೂ ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅದನ್ನ ಪ್ರೂಫ್ ಚೆಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಒಂದು ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ so there is a lot of amount that will be spent for reinforcement and concrete. Okay, so there are some designers who take factor of safety more, okay, in their analysis, and proposed bigger sections, bigger reinforcement dia, bigger sections of columns and beams. And another agency may analyze it in a different manner, and taking lesser factor of safety, they get limited. That's why this is called as proof checking. In metro projects ಏನು ನಡೀತಾರೆ ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ನ ಪ್ರಿಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಪ್ರೂಫ್ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ BMRCL ಟೀಮ್. ಯಾಕಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕುಡ್ ಬಿ ಎಕನಾಮಿಕಲ್. ಸೊ ಲೈಕ್ ದಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟರ್ನ್ಕಿ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ರೂಫ್ ಚೆಕಿಂಗ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಆ ಟರ್ನ್ಕಿ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ, ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅದೇ ಫೈನಲ್. ಇದನ್ನ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, if there is one item called supply and bar bending of reinforcement, okay, ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಬಾರ್ ಬೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸರಿನಾ? ಅಲ್ಲಿ 20 mm ಡಯಾಮೀಟರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ದ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ರಿಇನ್ಫೋರ್ಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಲೆಸ್. In the same space, if you are going to use 24 dia or 32 dia, ಅದೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ವರ್ಕ್ಮೆನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಸೇಮು, ಲೇಬರ್ ಸೇಮು, ಬಟ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ, ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟರ್ಗೆ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ. ಸೊ ಈ ತರ ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳುವಂತ ಚಾನ್ಸಸ್ ತುಂಬಾ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಒನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಿವ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಓನರ್ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸೈಕಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ವಿಂಗು ಅವ್ರದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ you have to compulsorily monitor about the quality of the project, because construction projects are so unique that the effects of the quality will not be reflecting immediately. ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಮೇಲೆ ಇಮಿಡಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ರಿಫ್ಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ ದ ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೈಮ್, ಒಂದು 2 years 3 years ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಯೂಸೇಜ್ ಆದಾಗ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅದರದ್ದು ಕ್ವಾಲಿಟಿ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಓನರು ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಪ್ರೋಸೆಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಫಾಲೋ ಅಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ತಮ್ಮ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ದ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಎ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಎಸ್ಟಿಮೇಟೆಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಓನರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇವನ್ ಇಫ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕುಡ್ ಬಿ ನೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಇನಿಷಿಯಲಿ, exact price it's not possible to find out, because there will be changes in the rates amid. Changes by the owner can be expensive and may result in heavy cost penalties to the owner. ಸೊ ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಅವ್ರು ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇನ್ ದ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್, ಇವನ್ ವೆನ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಆಸ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಚೇಂಜಸ್, ದಿಸ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟರ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಚಾರ್ಜಿಂಗ್ more. Why? Because already the contract has been awarded and this is a mistake from the owner. So whatever the amount is going to say, they have to pay for it, and also they have to pay the penalties, because those clauses that will be mentioned in the ಈ ತರ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ, ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು, ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪೆನಲ್ಟಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಇದೊಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್. ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಡಿಸ್ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್. The poor identification of owner need and wrong understanding of project can cause main problem during the project realization. So usually the owner doesn't have the exact imagination of what he wants, because ನೀವು ಒಂದು ಹೌಸ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ he will be agreeing, yeah it is okay and it is good, but when you are going to construct, ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಂದು ಓನರ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಕಿಚನ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಈ ಗೋಡೆ ತೆಗೀರಿ, ಮೈನರ್ ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಗಿವನ್ ಬೈ ದೇರ್ ರಿಲೇಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅಥವಾ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಚೇಂಜಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಈ ತರ ಆ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್, ಆ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗೋವರೆಗೂ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ರಿಯಲ್ ಟೈಮ್ ರಿಯಲೈಸೇಷನ್ ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್. ಅದೇ ತರ ಟರ್ನ್ ಕೀಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅದೊಂದು ಡಿಸ್ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್. ಅವ್ರು ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ 100% ಅದನ್ನ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಫ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋಂಥ ಡ್ರಾಯಿಂಗ್ಸ್ಗೆ ಓಕೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಸಪೋಸ್ ಅವರು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಚೇಂಜಸ್, ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬೇರ್ ಎ ಲಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಮನಿ. ಸೊ ದ ಪೂರ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫಿಕೇಶನ್ ಆಫ್ ಓನರ್ ನೀಡ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಎ ಬಿಗ್ fumble and a lot of waste, and the project utilization will also be little lesser. So these are the disadvantages of turnkey operation. Okay, so we have discussed a lot about turnkey, about the definition, about the concept, about the advantages and about the disadvantages. Also in this case, the land for construction will be the owner only. The planning and construction will be by the contracting agency. Immediately after construction, he is going to hand over to the owner will be operating it. Okay, so next there is one more type of project called public private partnership. In today's world, almost all the state governments and central governments and in all over the world, this type of project is coming into action because of their more advantages in developing the nation, this type of policies or this type of concepts. So what is this public private partnership? There is a public part and private part. A public private partnership is a government service or private business venture which is funded and operated through a partnership of government and one or more private sector companies. So in this public-private partnership, there will be a joint collaboration between the public sector agencies such as run by government and one or more private agencies for the developmental work based on some contract agreements. So it will be a business venture, it will be a type of creating win-win situation and providing necessary infrastructure or necessary developments for the user. Okay, so this is called as a public private partnership. Here the business venture will be offered by the public and the operated will be done by private sector companies for some period of time, and there will be a partnership between the public agency and the private agency. This is called public private partnership. A public private partnership refers to a long term contractual partnership between the public and private sector agencies targeted towards financing, design, implementing, and operating infrastructural facilities in the state. See, India is a country where we are lacking of finance. We are having only limited amount of finance, and we have to invest it in so many domains. Okay, we have to invest it in food sector, agricultural sector. Okay, so even in spite of that, there is one major element, that is infrastructure, roads and bridges. Okay, a nation's development ಹೇಗಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ because of the connectivity in roads, because agricultural people has to bring their commodities from their village to city, so they need good roads, and these finished goods should be transported from one state to another state, and they need good roads which has to be little faster and safer. So considering all these things, so government wants to invest more into the infrastructural area, but there is a lacking of funding, lackage of money. Okay, so this demanded one unique type of proposal from private agencies, that you provide the land. Okay, I am going to design it, I am going to fund it, I am going to finance it, I am going to implement it, and I am going to operate it for certain years. Okay, when I am going to take back my profit, investment with profit, then I am giving back that facility to the public. So this is called as public private partnership. So here there is a win-win situation that is being created to the public agency, and also to the private firm. The infrastructural facility, say for example, if I want to build a bridge in between the river, okay, bridge in the river in between two cities, the private fellow comes and he is going to say that I will construct the bridge, then I am going to fix a toll for 20 years or 25 years. So that's why this is called as a long-term contractual relationship. It is not a short-term, 1 or 2 year. It will be 20 years, 25 years. Depends upon the contract agreement and how fastly the agency is going to incur their investment in addition to the profit. So there are public and private partnerships are nowadays being done in all the areas of development. It may be airports, it will be roads, railways, tourism, urban development, ports, and energy. And coming to airports, in the Udan scheme, in the central government initiated of flying the flights to the small cities also. So this created a demand of developmental of runways. But since the government is limited in funding, they asked the private agency to they ask the private agency to construct it, then they can run it for several years, then they have to give it back to the government. So second one is roads. Roads is having a very huge demand in public private partnership. So the roads includes, it may be national highways, it may be state highways, where there is a huge amount of road traffic. There the investment will be there. And railways, there are some villages still the railways has not been connected. So in those areas, the construction firm is going to construct the railway lines and then they are going to operate it for certain years. And again, for tourism, there are so many places where they are going to construct hotels and then they are going to operate it for certain years and then they are going. And coming to energy, power production, there is a huge demand for power in industries and for residences. So there the construction will be done by the contracting agency. The coal may be provided, suppliers may be the government. Then they are producing power for certain number of years and they are going to sell to industries. And coming to ports, they are going to construct the platforms, berths for logistics purpose, that is for handling the cargo. Okay, they are going to operate for certain years and they're going to give it back to the government. So in these are the major areas where the government is concentrating to develop by these PPP models. So this public private partnership is nothing but a collaboration between a private agency and a public. So a lot of training cells have been developed by government in training all the people who are in public sector, that is public works department or education department and ಕಂದಾಯ ಇಲಾಖೆ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, revenue department, to create this cell. Because in our institution also the canteen could be made by public private partnership, where I am going to provide land to the person. He is going to construct the hotel, small hotel, and institute and canteen will be making the collaboration that for this number of years I am going to use the canteen, operate the canteen, and when I am going to have my profit, then I am going to leave it to you. So the building will be added addition to the added profit to the agency. So this is the structure of PPP projects. So first there will be granting authority. Granting authority is the person or the agency which are allowing to entertain the idea. Okay, then the granting authority, the project company will be created. This project company will be a consortium. Consortium means a mix of 2 or 3 companies together. They are coming and they're going to propose an idea to this granting authority, and this project company will be including so many agencies. Okay, first is investors ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಇವ್ರು ಏನು ಐಡಿಯಾ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಗ್ರಾಂಟಿಂಗ್ ಅಥಾರಿಟಿಗೆ, ಆ ಐಡಿಯಾ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ದೇ ನೀಡ್ ಫಂಡ್. ಓಕೆ, so the investors will be having a agreement with this project company. Next, lenders. So lenders ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ banks ಗಳು ಏನು ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಲೋನ್ಸ್, they are also having a agreement with the project company about how much amount should be given, what is the EMI when the project is completed. ಸೊ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಲೆಂಡರ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಏನು ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ ಅಂದ್ರೆ, ಲೆಂಡರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಲೋನ್ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅವರು EMI ನ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾರೆ ವಿತ್ ಇಂಟ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್. ಬಟ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರುವಂತ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ನೀವು ಶೇರ್ ನ ಪ್ರೊವೈಡ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ವೆಸ್ಟರ್ಸ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಅದೇನಿದೆ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಟೀಮ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್ ಟೀಮ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಪ್ಲಾನಿಂಗ್ ಟೀಮು ಆ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ನ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಚೆಕಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಸಪೋಸ್ ಸೊ ಒಂದು ಅವ್ರು ಏನ್ ಪ್ರಪೋಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ, ರೋಡ್ ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಫ್ಲೈಓವರ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ರೈಲ್ವೆ ಲೈನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದು ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ, ಅದು ಯೂಸರ್ಗೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅನ್ನೋದು ತುಂಬಾ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ಓಕೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ನಾನು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಒಂದು ರೋಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ನಾವು ಟ್ರಾಫಿಕ್ ಡೇಟಾ ತೆಗಿತೀವಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಜನರ ಮೈಂಡ್ ಸೆಟ್ ಆ ರೋಡ್ ನ ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದಾರೆ ಅದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆ ರೋಡ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕಡೆ ಬೇರೆ ರೋಡ್ ಇಂದ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಟೋಲ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ, ಸೊ ಈ ತರದ್ದು ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ಸ್ ನೆಲ್ಲ ನೀವು ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಟೀಮ್ ನ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇದೆ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜರ್ ಟೀಮ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಸಪ್ಲೈಯರ್ಸ್. ಸಪ್ಲೈಯರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ the persons who are going to supply the items. Say for example ಒಂದು thermal power plant ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ನಾವು ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ, okay, if you are going to build a thermal power plant, then the coal is a natural resources will be in the hands of government. Okay, the coal ಏನಿದೆ that will be in the hands of government. So then there will be a agreement between the supplier that when you are going to provide me, I am going to construct this thermal power plant, you have to supply the coal at these rates. Okay, or annually I am going to give you this amount. Like that, there will be an agreement between the project company and suppliers. And then a design construct team. Usually design construct team a project company ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಸೇಮ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. sometimes suppose business idea ಬೇರೆಯವ್ರದ್ದು ಇವ್ರು ಬರೀ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಡಿಸೈನ್ ಟೀಮ್ ಒಂದು ಸಪರೇಟ್ ನ ಅವರು ತಗೊಂಡು ಇವರೇ ಅದನ್ನ ಸೂಪರ್ವೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ನಡೀತು, ಒಂದು ಲಾಂಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಂಗ್ಳೂರ್ ಎಲಿವೇಟೆಡ್ ಟೋಲ್ವೇದು. ದೇರ್ ವರ್ 3 ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಂಪನೀಸ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ಡ್: ಸೋಮಾ ಎಂಟರ್ಪ್ರೈಸಸ್, ನಾಗಾರ್ಜುನ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಅಂಡ್ ಮೈತಾಸ್. ದೇ ಯುನೈಟೆಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ದೇ ಬಿಲ್ಡ್ ಎ ಲಾಂಗೆಸ್ಟ್ ಫ್ಲೈಓವರ್ ಆಫ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕನೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಎಲೆಕ್ಟ್ರಾನಿಕ್ ಸಿಟಿ ಇಂದ ಹೊಸೂರು. ಓಕೆ, so they created a project company. Okay, they asked for investors, they asked for lenders, they asked for project managers, they asked for suppliers, and they asked for operators. ಈ ಆಪರೇಟರ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, ಸಪೋಸ್ ಒಂದು ರೋಡ್ ನ ನೀವು ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಟೋಲ್ ನ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆನ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿನ ನಾವು ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಆಸ್ ಆಪರೇಟರ್ ಟೀಮ್. ಅಥವಾ ಒಂದು ಪವರ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಸೇಲ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮೇಂಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡುವಂತ ಟೀಮ್ ಒಂದು ಥರ್ಮಲ್ ಪವರ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಪರೇಟರ್ ಟೀಮ್. ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಟೀಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೆಪರೇಟ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಆಪರೇಟರ್ ಟೀಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೆಪರೇಟ್. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಟಿಪಿಕಲ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ ಆಫ್ PPP projects. Okay, so there will be agreements between the agency and the project company. See, ಇಲ್ಲಿ granting authority ಏನಿದೆ, it is an independent. It is only having one tie-up between the project company. Okay, so the responsibility of project company is more. It should ask for investors, it should ask for lenders, it should ask for the efficiency of that business when it is successful, because project realization ಅನ್ನೋದು ತುಂಬಾ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ಲಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ನೀವು ಅದು ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ, you have to bear for the loss, and you have to have a agreement between suppliers, design team and operator team. So this is the typical structure of the PPP projects. Now, circumstances where PPP arrangements are considered by public, the project cannot be provided with the financial resources or expertise of the public sector alone. Okay, so ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ವಿಂಡ್ ಪವರ್ ಜನರೇಷನ್ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್, ಸೊ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಫೈನಾನ್ಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೆವಿ ಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂಡ್ ಜೊತೆಗೆ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಇಂಪ್ಲಿಮೆಂಟೇಷನ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಡೌಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದು ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಚೆಕ್ ವಿತ್ the expertise. But if the expertise is with some private persons, then you can give them an offer of executing the job. That is the one circumstance. A private partner would increase the quality or level of service over that provided by public sector on its own. ಸೊ ಇದು ನಿಮಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಡಿಲೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಯಾಕೆ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಪ್ರೈವೇಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಾಂಪಿಟೇಟಿವ್ನೆಸ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ದೇ ನೀಡ್ ಟು the progress should be more, the quality also should be more. Why? Because it has to be ultimately satisfy the user. That's why the level of service and the quality will be more stressed when the private persons are doing the job compared to the public sector. A private partner would allow the project to be implemented sooner than if only the public sector were involved. That is the time completion irbodu. So the time completion of the private projects is more because there will be lot of hassles in the government projects. So it may be superseded or overcome by a private agency for the faster completion of the project. Because ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಕೂಡ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡದೇ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ, ಫಂಡಿಂಗು ಅವ್ರದ್ದೇ ಇರೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಒಂದು ಸ್ಮೂತ್ ಆಗಿ ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಏನಾದರೂ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಫಾಸ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಡೇ ಅಂಡ್ ನೈಟ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಫಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಅವ್ರದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದೇ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಯ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಫಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹ್ಯಾಸಲ್ಸ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ there is an opportunity for competition among the private partners. So private partners मध्ये competition ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. The cost of the project can be recovered through the implementation of user fees. So ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ if there is only a chance of the invested amount could be recovered, then only we can go for PPP arrangements. Because nowadays we are seeing the lot of strikes that are going to happen when you are going to fix the toll. Okay, if that is the case, then the person who has invested the money is not going to have the money back. Then there will be a issue. Only if there is a chance of you can implement some fees for recovery of your principal, then it is possible. The project provides an opportunity for innovation. So because here the group of persons are united and they are going to prepare an idea of providing a facility and at the same time having a major revenue, then there will be some innovation kind of thing, innovative business. So this brings the innovation in the project. There are opportunities to foster economic development. As I told you, in government there is a limited funding to the projects. So these type of associations, when they come up with projects, there will be usage of manpower in the project, there will be usage of materials in the project, there will be transaction of crores of rupees. So this boosts up the economic development of the nation. So advantages of PPP: value for money, since the private agency itself is going to execute the job, there will be competitiveness in completing the project with respect to time and money, and the risk is transferred completely to the third party who is best able to manage the risk at least cost. That is one more advantage. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅದ್ರ ಹೆಡ್ ಮೇಲೆ ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಅವರೇ ಕೊನೆಗೆ ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂನು ಕೂಡ ಜನರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಅದೇ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆದ್ರೆ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಕನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಸೊ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ರೆವೆನ್ಯೂ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಗೌರ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಎ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ ಪ್ರಾಫಿಟ್ ಮೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಆರ್ಗನೈಸೇಷನ್. So because when the public demands, then they have to go for free. But in this case, it's not at all possible. The private persons were risking their money in developing it, and they have to take back their money. And also this project will be handled by the private people. The lot of skills will be used. There will be new skills that will be acquired by the manpower. And also the completion associated with private sector, like low prices, innovative prices, increased investment and better services. There will be innovativeness in the work, and their prices will also be lower because not they are not going to keep any profit, and the investment will also be increased. So public-private partnership leads to cost efficiencies, which are as a result of increased competition, increased proportion of risk transfer, and close integration of various aspects. That is, so ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ lot of companies will be involving and creating a project company. The different mindset of the companies will be coming into it, and because of this brainstorming there will be innovativeness in the functioning, and also the competition will be more, and it will be integrated for taking up the risk and making up the profit, so for executing it in a lesser rate. Public private projects can be delivered quicker than under conventional procurement because of better project management, better management of project risk, because the service provider is not paid until the project is completed. So here, since the project company itself is funding, and they will be very eager to collect the revenue as soon as possible, because they have to pay back the money to the lenders and the investors. So they are going to use some good project management skills to complete the project. Reduction on the public treasury. Since the private funding will be done, the burden for the public for investing will be lesser, so that they can use the money to the other departments. So these are the different advantages of PPP, and there are some disadvantages also. So public-private properties try to reduce total project cost. However, renting costs and developing costs are generally higher, because progressively there will be variation in the rates of the items, so the project cost may increase. As there are two or more parties involved in PPP, there are chances of misunderstanding. So the one project company, it compromises of three or two construction companies or different firms which have been united together to come up with the idea. In the initial stages it could be good, but during the progressive times, if there is some misunderstanding happen between those agencies, then it may impact to the progress of the project. PPP can lead to inefficiency due to lack of contestability and competition. Sometimes even the government may initiate and ideate a project, and the agencies may not show any kind of interest in contesting it, because they are not confident of taking much profit from it, and also the arrangement of funding is also a very big task. There exists a cultural gap between public and private sector, which may result in loss of confidence in each other. So the culture of government, working of government is different and private is different. Okay, there will always be a gap between those. This gap may cause the private person to lose confidence in the government public agency. The private sector's motives to take part in PPP is to mainly make profits, but the motive of public sector is oriented. Here, the private sector will be developing it, keeping in mind that a lot of profit could be made. But when it comes to government or public agency, they are service oriented rather than profit. So, this concept of ideology may differ between these two agencies, which may create some kind of conflicts, ending up into a lagging of project time or a failing of the execution of the project. So, and also the governments will be changing every 5 years. Okay, one government is having a different ideology, and another government is having a different ideology and different priority. Okay, so these may cause the PPP projects to be unsuccessful, because one government may promote or provides full support to the project company, other government may doesn't provide in that stretch, which may harm the ideology of the project. So these are the disadvantages of PPP. So this is all about public-private partnerships. Answer some multiple choice question test. State the correct statement for turnkey project. Option A, turnkey projects will be delayed. There will be no coordination between design team and site team. Owner has reduced control over design quality. Project cost will be known only at the end of the project. So the right answer is option B. Owner has the reduced control over design quality. Since the planning team, design team and site team will be in-house, there will be more coordination between them, but the owner will be having a lesser hold on the design. In turnkey project, the following work will be done by the concessionaire. That is, the agency is going to take the work. Planning, design and finance will be done. Option B, site execution, billing and finance will be done. Option C, planning, design and site execution will be done. And option D, none of this. The right answer is option C. Planning will be done by the agency. Design also will be under his responsibility, and the planning and execution also. Only the finance part will be done by the owner. So it is right answer is option C. The main disadvantage of the turnkey project is extensive involvement of owner during entire life cycle of project. Owner has to finance for the project. The quality of the work will be poor, and option D, the project will not be economical. The right answer is option A. In the each process, the involvement of owner will be there for assessing the quality, assessing the progress of the project. A public-private partnership is a government project. Option B, a partnership between government and private organization. Option C, a private project, and option D, all of this. The right answer is option B. It will be between a public agency and a private, one or more private agencies. PPP projects will be option A, infrastructure projects, option B, railway projects, option C, airports, and option D, all of these. So the right answer is option D. In addition to it, there are so many areas: tourism, urban development, ports, where roads, where these PPP projects are executed. State the advantages of PPP projects. Option A, the cost of the project can be recovered through the implementation of user fees. There are opportunities to foster economic development. Option B, the project provides an opportunity for innovation. And option D, all of this. So the right answer is option D, all of these, all are the advantages of PPP projects. The structure of PPP projects consists of design team, operate team, investor team. Option B, investor team, construction team and lenders team. Option C, design construct team, supplier team and granting authority. And option D, all of the above. So the right answer is option D, all of the above. You need investors and lenders for financing, a design team for designing, construct team for constructing, and a granting team for providing an opportunity. What are the disadvantages of PPP projects? Risk is transferred to the third party who is best able to manage risk at least cost. Option B, changing governments and major changes in law has sometimes a very bad impact on PPP projects. Option C, PPP helps reduce the capital demands on the public treasury for infrastructure development. Option D, all of this. The right answer is option B. The changing governments and law may sometimes provide a bigger impact on the progress of PPP projects. What are the advantages of PPP projects? There exists a cultural gap between public and private sector which results in loss of confidence in each other. Option B, PPP can lead to inefficiency due to lack of contestability and competition. Option C, the private sector's motive to take part in PPP is to make profits, but the motive of public sector is service oriented. PPP projects can be delivered quickly than under conventional procurement. The right answer is option D. Pre-PPP projects are faster in need since the private agency will be constructing it. And the last question, state the correct statement in comparing turnkey and PPP projects. Option A, both turnkey and PPP projects are same when it comes to financing. Option B, the cost of the project can be recovered through the implementation of user fees in turnkey projects. Option C, public sector provides the land to concessionaire in PPP projects. Option D, construction work should be supervised more in PPP projects compared to turnkey projects. The right answer is option C. The public sector provides the land to concessionaire in PPP projects. That is, the granting authority is going to provide the land for the project company. Thank you.